We spend decades chasing the next promotion, the bigger house, and the better title. We run on a treadmill of constant competition and accumulation, yet so many of us reach the top only to feel completely empty, always striving but never actually arriving. The late author and spiritual teacher Dr. Dyer argued this widespread emptiness isn't an accident. It is the direct result of the psychological operating system most of us have running in the background since childhood. He called this default programming the ego, edging God out. It's a closed mental loop, defining our worth by physical achievements. Society reinforces this system with three false pillars of identity: I am what I have, what I do, and what others think of me. Because this entire structure requires external inputs to stay standing, it lacks the capacity to generate peace from the inside. Running on the ego system requires a constant stream of new material. The primary directive becomes a relentless, exhausting mantra: acquire more. But as the pile of possessions and achievements grows, a new psychological side effect kicks in. The more you have, the more you become consumed by the anxiety that someone is going to take it all away. This creates a severe structural vulnerability in how you live. If your entire sense of self is tethered to your bank account, your job title, or your public reputation, what happens when those things disappear? When the external markers are stripped away, the person you think you are vanishes right along with them. Chasing external rewards isn't an inefficient way to find happiness. It acts as an active barrier preventing true fulfillment. Dyer described human development in two phases. We start in the morning of life, driven by ambition and competition. But eventually, we cross a threshold into the afternoon of life, driven entirely by meaning. Moving between phases rarely happens on a predictable schedule. It's usually forced by a sudden disruption, Dyer called a quantum moment. These moments share four distinct characteristics. They are incredibly vivid. They arrive as a complete surprise. They feel benevolent rather than punishing, and their impact is enduring. Often, these shifts strike when we hit absolute rock bottom. It happens when a person is forced to admit their way isn't working, and they finally surrender the illusion that they are in control. A quantum moment serves as a forced reboot. It wipes the old ambition-driven software clean and compels you to reevaluate what actually matters. Once the old system is cleared out, a practical problem remains. How do you figure out what your true purpose is? A true calling isn't a job listing you find out in the world. It is an internal signal you have to stop and listen for. Dyer referred to this as a future pull. Think of it as a gentle gravity drawing you toward the exact person you were designed to become. The new operating system powering this pull is enthusiasm. The word comes from the Greek root entheos, translating literally to the God within. You can verify you are following this signal when you feel compelled to play your own internal music, completely detached from whether anyone pays you for it, praises it, or even notices it. Tuning into enthusiasm, you replace the exhausting push of ambition with the effortless pull of purpose. Operating on this new frequency changes how you interact with reality on a daily basis. The old demands of entitlement are replaced by profound humility. You stop trying to force specific outcomes and start trusting the process. The ego's constant, exhausting question of, "What can I get?" is entirely replaced by a new primary directive: "How may I serve?" This isn't reserved for monks or spiritual teachers. Whether you are driving a cab, teaching a classroom, or running a corporation, the operating system works exactly the same as long as your focus is on elevating the people around you. True happiness arrives when you take your internal purpose and turn it outward. Once your goal is service, the anxieties of the ego lose their relevance. To understand the stakes of ignoring this shift, Dyer pointed to a story by Russian author Leo Tolstoy about a judge named Ivan Ilyich. Ilyich is lying on his deathbed, looking back at a life spent successfully chasing prestige, wealth, and social standing, while completely ignoring his authentic self. In his final moments, he looks up at his wife and asks a haunting question: "What if my whole life has been wrong?" That realization led Dyer to his ultimate counter-directive. He told his audiences, "Don't die with your music still in you." We all arrived here with a unique song to play. Letting go of the ego creates the quiet space necessary to actually hear it. A successful life isn't measured by the height of your achievements or the weight of your possessions. It is measured by having the courage to trust your authentic calling before time runs out.